Have you ever considered how different ethical approaches might clash when making decisions that impact both individuals and the wider community? It is a fascinating and crucial tension at the heart of many societal debates. The core conflict between rights theory and utilitarian principles lies in their fundamental approach to morality. Rights theory asserts that individuals possess certain inherent moral claims that cannot be violated, regardless of the consequences. Utilitarianism, conversely, judges actions based solely on their ability to produce the greatest happiness or well-being for the largest number of people. These two frameworks often lead to very different conclusions about what is morally permissible or required. The reason for this deep disagreement stems from their foundational values. Rights theory views certain entitlements, such as the right to life, liberty, or property, as universal and non-negotiable, acting as moral side constraints on what can be done. These individual rights are seen as trumps, meaning they cannot be overridden simply because doing so would benefit a greater number of people. Utilitarianism, however, has no such inherent constraints. Any action, even one that violates an individual's right, could be justified if it results in a net increase in overall utility or happiness. For example, sacrificing one person's well-being for the greater good of many might be acceptable from a purely utilitarian standpoint but would be anathema to a rights theorist. Understanding this conflict helps us analyze complex policy, debates, and ethical dilemmas. Societies often try to navigate this tension by establishing constitutional protections or bills of rights, which are designed to safeguard individual liberties from being overridden by majority interests. These legal frameworks act as a societal commitment to certain individual moral claims, preventing purely utilitarian calculations from infringing upon fundamental human dignity. For instance, in criminal justice, a utilitarian might advocate for punishing an innocent person if it prevents widespread panic, but a rights-based system would deem this an unacceptable violation of due process. Some philosophers, like John Stuart Mill, recognized this tension and attempted to reconcile the two through a concept known as rule utilitarianism. This approach suggests that we should uphold general rules, such as protecting individual rights, because these rules ultimately lead to the greatest good in the long run, even if a specific instance of upholding a right might not maximize immediate utility. However, critics argue that rule utilitarianism still ultimately subordinates individual rights to the goal of maximizing utility, leaving the core conflict unresolved. Grasping the distinction between rights theory and utilitarianism is essential for anyone seeking to thoroughly understand liberal thought and evaluate ethical frameworks. It illuminates why we have specific protections for individuals and helps us navigate the difficult choices society faces when balancing the well-being of the many with the fundamental claims of each person.